Welcome to the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Unfiltered laughs, honest conversations, and everything in between.
This is your backstage pass to the best moments from Ryder and Lisa.
On demand.
Powered by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Ryder and I went out to just watch some sports yesterday, have some wings. Mm-hmm. Then after, I was like, I want ice cream. So we stopped, got a dip cone, obviously. You think that's in your top 3 favorite desserts?
Yeah, cheesecake and that, I think, are 1 and 2. It's that, it doesn't have to be in a cone, but that chocolate that hardens up around soft ice cream and is like really thin, kind of.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. If it might even take my number 1 spot.
I sent a picture of the cone to my girlfriends, and one of them was like, how do you eat it? Because everyone has their own way, right? Mm-hmm. Some people just bite right off the top. Others will like suck on it so this chocolate gets soft. And then others will bite off the chocolate so it reveals a whole new ice cream cone. So now it's just a vanilla cone.
No, you need the combo for sure. The first bite's the best.
Yeah.
The first bite of the ice cream.
Oh.
Thanks for playing along.
Rod Stewart. Anyway, then covered by Sheryl Crow. Everyone thinks it's Cheryl's original. It's not. Anyway, I digress. So my point of this conversation is I kept complaining about everything. I'm like, nothing tastes good. Everything is, are ingredients different? And you're like, it tastes pretty good to me.
Yeah, like you complained about the wings. I was like, they were good. You complained about the ice cream. I was like, it's good. Like, how do you go wrong with a Dairy Queen?
I know.
Soft serve with chocolate. You know exactly what you're getting.
It's because of my oral thrush. It still won't go away. I'm like on day 20 of having a tingly tongue. And it's
so
swollen.
Weird.
And it's swollen to the point where when I stick my tongue out, there's these little indents on each side of my tongue. And I was like, what are those from? It's from my teeth. Because my tongue swells up and then it makes these imprints on each side of my
What is so wrong
weird.
with you?
I don't know. I'm like taking all of the probiotics. I'm oil pulling. I don't know how to get rid of it. I've done 2 different rounds of not antibiotics for it, but like something of the sort.
Different kinds of meds that are supposed to
It's
help.
not working. So I booked a doctor's appointment next week. Like, what is this?
Okay, hang tight though.
I need steroids.
Is there potentially a blessing here?
What?
Well, if I could enjoy food a little bit less, I'd be pleased.
Well, that's exactly it.
Maybe I could actually stop eating.
That's what I think I can do, because they say with something like oral thrush, because it is like a yeast thing, that you're supposed to starve the yeast. So stop eating sugar and stop eating bread. And I was like, oh, that's great. I've known this for 20 days. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to not eat.
Yeah,
2 of my favorite things.
You came home from the grocery store the other day and you just had bread. I was like,
and mini eggs.
That's all you got at the grocery store?
And mini eggs. I just didn't show you them. They were hiding in my pocket. But this
so
is what
you got your sugar covered there, yeah?
So if anyone's listening, I know I've been complaining about my oral thrush for so long. I know you're all sick of hearing about it too. Mm-hmm. So help a girl out. What's next? Steroids.
No, stop eating sugar and bread. They've already told you what's next. Loaf.
Don't call me Loaf. I hate that nickname.
That's the first time I've ever called her that, just so everyone's aware.
It's actually kind of cute. Loaf.
I forgot about that absolute banger of a track.
That's exactly what Eric just texted in. Like, word for word what you just said. I wonder how many other people said the exact same thing. Forgot about this. This banger.
That is pretty wild that he also said absolute banger. Sign of the times.
Oh, Lindsay just wrote in, my friends and I did this 3-week tour of Spain in Kentucky. Is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. And this was our tour song. Wow, it took me right back. Thank you so much.
And Kaylee said my husband came downstairs and asked me what the hell I was listening to.
And then Deneen just wrote in, loving your energy today. I was blah, but now I feel better after listening. Okay, everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
I love our listeners.
Bringing the joyous vibes this morning. Nick, although not everybody's positive. Nick says, I thought something was wrong with the radio. It went on for so long.
That was great, though. I love it.
Thanks for being here with us. There's a new scam. If you have a reasonable, like a significant, I guess is the word, amount of followers That seems to be who's targeted.
So you're not relevant to this story, but I am. So tell me more. Just kidding. That was a joke. Oh my gosh.
Well, now my feelings are hurt.
No, you're so popular and cool.
No, you passed me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All I got you on is Facebook with the older ladies.
The fact that you know that is really sad. You were the most competitive person I've ever met. And I know that you're very supportive of me, and there's absolutely nothing between us that, you know how there's some shows where there's like, you could tell they actually don't like each other?
Yeah. You would say that.
Stop.
No, it's true. Okay. Detour very quickly though. Have you listened to the Best Friends podcast at all recently with Brianna Chicken Fry and that dude from the Guys with Fluffy Hair?
I don't know what any of that means.
Dave Portnoy used to be on the podcast with them, and it was called BFFs.
Yes. She was dating Zach Bryan, and then he turned out to be a huge turd, and she opened up about it. He was offering her like millions of dollars, and she said no.
She should have said yes, because that podcast is going to be going away soon. Dave left the show just because he's so busy.
And he owns Barstool Sports.
Yeah, and the other two are trying to hold it together, and you can tell they hate each other.
Oh, I love listening to that, though.
Yeah,
I might have to tune in.
You should.
We should start acting like that. Do you think that would get us more listeners or less?
Start acting like that?
You're the worst actor.
Okay, so...
There's a scam if you have a big following.
Thank you. There is, yeah. So what they do is they reach out to you and say that they have a podcast that they'd love for you to be on.
I think I got that email.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And what's the podcast?
And I didn't.
Let me find it. And they keep bugging me about it. They wrote again. They said, "Hey, Lisa." Oh my God. And I just got it the other day. Let me find it. Anyway, let everyone know the more information. Let's see if this is the right one.
So they reach out to you and say, like, this is a really big podcast. And then you go and search the person's name and you're like, oh, they actually do have a pretty big podcast.
I did that. I looked her up. It's a woman.
Yeah. This is the scam that's going around. Be careful. Don't.
Invitation. I'm Lucas Kalem from Kim Gravel's management team. We'd love to invite you to be a guest on the Kim Gravel Show. We've heard great things about you and think your insights would make for an amazing conversation with our audience. Looking forward to hearing from you. And yeah, you go to her page and she's this like older, blonde, looks very intelligent. I'm like, oh, she must have like a good show. Hold some good conversations with people. That's a scam.
So here's what they do.
They just wrote me again. Just wanted to follow up to inquire about any progress or updates.
Yeah. So if you say yes, they'll say, okay, great. Let's get on a call. We've got a few questions that we're just going to let you know about. And then they get you to log in to give permission for them to be able to share their podcast or something. And then it doesn't work. So then they get you to screen share with them as you're pumping in information that then they steal, and then they'll steal your platform you're following.
Losers.
Yeah. But they're actually targeting people that have a significant amount of followers and stealing their base. It's so funny that at the start you made fun of me that like they would be interested in you and not me because you have more followers than me. And then that actually is true because I haven't got the email yet. And now I want to reach out to them.
It'd be like, what's wrong with me? Why don't you want to scam me?
Exactly.
God, I love Maroon 5. Don't ask me what any of their names are, though.
Adam Levine. Okay, your turn. You name the next one.
No, that's the only one I know.
So it should be a madhouse down at the rink tonight.
They're opening up a second viewing party.
So that more teenagers can fight each other.
There's so many fistfights.
Quit it.
Stop. What are we doing? This is embarrassing.
And like, not that fighting somebody because they cheer for a different team is an excuse, because it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Like, there would be no professional sports if you didn't have people cheering for the other team. So let's welcome them.
True.
But
yeah, no, they're all wearing the same jerseys.
They're all Oilers fans fighting each other, and we're winning. What? Like, how are you that fired up when we just won that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna kick somebody now. I'm gonna kick somebody that I go to school with.
Well, it's obviously a personal reason. It has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, I know, but you just think that the vibes are so good down there when things are going well. Everybody's got so much joy, and you can feel it. Like, you can feel the energy of a big group that's having a great time.
It's electric.
And then just brawls.
Yeah.
Like the one I saw, there was just a bunch of guys trying to kick each other.
Yeah, it's like Jeremy and Dan from your high school. And then they go viral online and you're like,
losers.
Cringe.
Yeah, I'm going to head downtown. I think I'm going to actually probably pay for an Uber. I'm going to head downtown.
I'm going to pay for $13 beers. I'm going to have 6 of them.
Spend more money than I have, and then I'm going to get in a kick fight. Congrats. Well, there have been some pretty well-known influencers who call Alberta home over the years.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Bristow, she was on The Bachelor. She now owns her own wine company. She has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that comes to mind. She's from Leduc originally.
Chantel Kerr is the top influencer, TikTok influencer in Edmonton.
What?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Chantel Kerr is her name.
I'll have to follow her. What does she do?
I don't know.
All
Never
right.
watched her before. There is her name's not coming to me. That's why this kind of sounds awkward. But come on, you know this one. From Calgary, she has shorter blonde hair, really good looking. I met her at the Junos, and my daughter was super pumped.
Oh, yeah, she does funny TikToks.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
Somebody's going to hit us up with the answer to that. But she's from Calgary. I didn't know that for the first few videos I watched. It's interesting. Even when I discovered you on Twitter, I was like, man, this chick's hilarious. And then I saw you tweet about White Ave, and I was like, oh, she's from Edmonton?
Yeah.
Like, I followed you thinking you were a comic from L.A. or something. It is cool when you find out that people are from around here that you've been watching and you had no idea.
Totally. Yeah, no, there was this like really attractive bartender that kept popping up on my timeline on TikTok, and he wears crop tops, and all he does is he just films himself when he gets home from his bartending shift and shows what his outfit was for his shift.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day he was wearing a crop top Oilers t-shirt, and I went, wait a minute, is this guy from Edmonton? So yeah, it is a wild realization when you see that they live so close to you.
Call me Chris. That's her name.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
She's from Calgary. Anyway, there's another one that we just discovered.
And I'm sure everyone listening, if you have TikTok, this guy has popped up on your timeline at some point.
Like, he is almost as well known as you can get, and he's from Vulcan, Alberta.
How far is that from us?
Like 4 hours, would be my guess.
Cool.
Anyway, we're going to get into his story a little bit coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's Play 107 with Ryder and Lisa. Thank you for checking this show out today. Sorry, I'm watching something while I'm talking.
We can tell.
I just found out about another Alberta influencer. I think she's from Edmonton. It's J-Dog. She's a 91-year-old.
What?
Who's just crushing it. She's got 1.9 million followers.
What's her shtick?
It feels to me like she's probably got a pretty funny grandkid who's getting her to do things. So, like, one, it's her walking with a walker. And it says, POV, you're a senior that fell and really needs me to help, but you beat me at bingo last week. And she just walks by them and, like, gives them a dirty look.
That's funny.
Yeah, she's crushing it.
That's good. There is an influencer that we just realized is from Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone listening, if you have TikTok, you've seen this guy on your algorithm. You'll recognize this clip we're going to air.
What? No way.
The What No Way guy is from Alberta.
Yeah, Vulcan.
Never been there.
What a great town name.
That's so cool.
Home of the Vikings.
The only reason that I know he's from around here is I saw that he was at some trade show in Lethbridge.
Okay.
And then I was like, wait a minute. Is he from... What? No way is what I said.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you...
What? No way.
So what he does and how he got famous is he would watch people with their life hacks on TikTok, and then he would stitch them. So halfway through, it would cut to him going, what? No way. And then he'd go try it himself to prove that it actually works.
Or doesn't, which is what I like about it. Because some people will get clout and traction from videos where they make something that actually doesn't work.
Right, it's fake.
So he kind of
proves it.
tests it, which also, what a great concept for a TikTok account or a social media account, because other people are coming up with the ideas. You just have to replicate them.
Yeah. You're kind of riding their coattails.
A little bit.
Anyway, he's got like almost 3 million followers on Facebook. That's impressive. And a lot of them from Alberta, a lot of fans that are close by. He goes to these trade shows. He's signing autographs. And he's your classic small town Alberta looking dude. I'm like, imagine being someone that went to school with this guy. Half the time he wasn't even showing up to social class.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get together with some buddies and you're like, you see what Sean's up to online?
Yeah, he's famous.
What? No way.
That's so cool. He just released like a hard iced tea line.
Yeah.
The what, no way.
Go get it.
Hard iced tea.
And I love that he uses the expression sakes.
Yeah.
Like instead of dropping the F-bomb. Yeah.
Sakes, why didn't I ever think of this?
Sakes.
I know. Lindsay just wrote in, how could you not tell from his accent? Like, yeah, he's got that Berta sound.
Yeah, I knew he was Canadian. I just didn't know I had never gone out of my way to track him down.
See how close he is to us. So yeah, next time he rolls through town, we should get him on the show to just be in the background, and every time we make valid points, he can say,
what? No way.
Sometimes waiting for things is annoying. What do you least like waiting for?
Food.
Good answer. Shortest call we've ever had.
and straight to the point and so valid.
There are certain things just feel longer to wait for.
Yesterday, you cooked some rice, put it in some containers to be prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
For me, because you're leaving this weekend, and if you don't prep food for me, I just don't eat.
I have to meal prep when I leave for a weekend because
I'm like a cat.
I know what will happen otherwise, and you'll just order pizza at 11 p.m. after not eating all day and then complain that you got tummy ache.
I have a tummy ache.
So I just prepped some chicken and rice.
Shout out to Ryder. Can you believe that? What a gem.
Thank you.
So makes a bunch of rice. I put it in these containers, and you're like, hey, just throw them in the fridge. I'm like, no, they're still hot. You can't put hot rice in the fridge and cover it because that makes it grow bacteria faster.
Well,
it's true.
No, I think the reason they say don't do that is because the warmth of the dish will warm up the fridge a little bit, and other things in the fridge will then be closer to bacteria growth temperature level.
No.
Yeah, because it cools down in the fridge.
Yeah, but hot food shouldn't be cooled down that fast. It makes it grow bacteria.
Incorrect.
Whatever.
It's about how long it's in the danger zone. And if you have it in the fridge, it's in the danger zone less. I'm not saying that you shouldn't let rice cool before you put it in the fridge. I'm just not saying it's like a death wish.
I think it is. Anyway, and then we had to leave, and I'm like, no, we can't leave yet. We have to wait for the rice to cool. And so my hack was to stand outside holding the rice in the wind, waiting for these containers to cool.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you're like, yeah, I really can't have bacteria on my phone. Now let me walk around as many places as I can. Like, why didn't you just go...
You said bacteria on my phone, by the way.
Sorry, on the rice. Why didn't you just go to the mall and ask people to blow on it for you? I got to make sure I don't have bacteria here. Do you mind just putting this in your hands for a bit and cooling it down?
Anyway, so I did my whole cooling process outside, came inside, dropped the rice. Everywhere.
It was already prepped, put away, good to go. We could leave.
No, because when I took it out, because you put it in the fridge too fast, so I pulled it out. You know when you put food in the fridge too fast and then the container starts to steam up? That's not good.
That's okay. But what's also not good is walking around with open rice containers and then dropping one on the floor.
I'm just going to cool this off for like 1 extra minute. I'm going to pull this out of the fridge for 1 minute, and then I'm going to just drop it on the floor quick. That'll cool it down.
So enjoy your 11 p.m. pizza.
I'm like on my hands and knees gathering sticky rice. It's got dog food in it or dog hair in it.
Yeah, and then you're like, should I keep this?
I'm like, I'll put this back in the fridge. Thanks for prepping for me. Put it in the fridge. Well knowing I'm ordering pizza this weekend.
So just a bunch of wasted rice. If anybody wants contaminated rice.
Yeah, we got you.
Let us know and we'll send it your way. What is something you hate waiting for? That's what we're talking about. We'll dive into some of the best answers on the text line. What is something you absolutely hate waiting for? Recently added to the list, rice to cool before putting it in the fridge. A lot of mixed reactions on if this is something that needs to be done or not.
I mean, we got this text from Paula, who is a dietitian, saying, Ryder is right about putting food in the fridge. Leaving hot rice outside is what grows bacteria. It must be put in the fridge right away. I didn't know that.
Well, other people are saying, like, no, Lisa's right on the bacteria. Dana from our sales team says you need to do it. You need to cool it, and then you put it in the fridge. This is coming from the woman that we work with that I saw eat raw chicken wings last week after I told her, I think those are raw.
She did not. She put it in the microwave.
Gross. Can you imagine microwaving raw chicken and then being like, yep, it's good now?
I love that.
So she's telling me that rice grows bacteria.
That was last week, and she's still here. So
yeah, I guess. Proof is in the pudding.
This text here, I hate waiting for my children. Love them so much, but I have zero patience for them. Yeah, I don't have any of my own children. But when I'm with friends that have toddlers, I'm like, this is so much waiting.
Totally.
Can we go? Like, I'm not used to having to wait like this.
Especially, I don't think it's taught. I think just genetically, some are the kid who is last. The last to grab their stuff, the last to leave the hockey dressing room, the last to come out of school. What is taking you so long?
Not me. I'm the first one out. I'm someone that stands up on the airplane.
Yeah, that's really cool too. Speaking of things that are annoying to wait for, how about that? Deboarding.
Oh my gosh.
Costco lines when you're wanting a sample. That feels like the wait takes forever.
It's a long way, but it's also a very vulnerable one. You're kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like a hot guy walks by and you're standing there waiting for a little tiny bowl of popcorn with sriracha powder on it.
Totally.
I don't know. That was so specific. I don't know if I've ever had that at Costco. Sorry.
No, you definitely had that exact encounter.
Like he walks by, you make eye contact. You're just like, yeah.
I'm also waiting for this pot sticker.
I really want a pot sticker.
You ever worry a little bit about how there's going to be no jobs left once everything gets replaced by robots and AI?
Yeah.
It is a little cause for concern that these companies don't have the foresight to realize that there's going to be nobody that has any money to go and buy things at your stores if you keep eliminating jobs. This is the first story I've read in quite a while where one of those, major multinational corporations has decided to get more boots on the ground. Starbucks going to be hiring more people to replace technology. What a nice sentence that is.
Yeah, get rid of the computers. Every time you're in the drive-thru, they're going to write it down, pen and paper. Yeah, you're going to be waiting an extra 14 minutes for your one beverage.
No. Don't do that.
I'm just kidding. So what is the plan?
They're just planning to hire more baristas.
Okay.
They said, quote, equipment doesn't solve the customer experience that we need to provide. So we're hiring more people. It's good because I was getting sick of those computers misspelling my name. I want a human to do it again.
Yeah, it's funnier that way. There's a study that was done that claims that a certain beverage can help with your hangover. And it's something that I've never heard anyone talk about before. It's not a beer with Clamato. It's not a Caesar.
That works. Gatorade?
It's not Gatorade.
That works a little bit.
It's not Pedialyte.
That really works.
It's Sprite.
That shouldn't surprise me. My body wants Sprite, and it's only when I'm hungover. Right?
My girlfriend Liz, she always has a Sprite Slurpee when she's hungover. She said it's the ultimate hangover cure.
So is it the lemon lime mix or what?
So this study found that Sprite can break down this certain ingredient that's a metabolite of ethanol, making it a possible hangover curing drink. Science.
Well, I usually have it with McDonald's, and I've always just credited McDonald's for turning me around. But this whole time, it was just the Sprite.
This comment underneath says, I did some reading on this. Basically, it's the carbonation and the citric acid, so you're right, Ryder, that flushes it out and stimulates your liver. So basically, you could also try just drinking carbonated plain water with lemon juice in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. If you're ever hungover, I mean, there's a big game tonight. It's a late one. You might be going to work tomorrow. You might need some help.
Especially, like, I think the majority of the guys I know and gals I know that would turn up for an Oilers game and maybe let loose a little bit.
Man, I always see people front row in the stands double fisting those massive beers on a weeknight, and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's going to be rough.
So the nights that I could see the green light being given to oneself is the Thursday game. I'm not going to do it on a Sunday.
Right.
Or a Monday.
No.
And we've seen some of those games
bad
already.
Start to the week.
Exactly. But the Thursday game, you're like, oh, I got one work day left. So, yeah.
It's mini Friday.
Load up on Sprite.
Yeah.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Thanks for being a part of the Ryder and Lisa community. If you liked hanging out with us, don't forget to subscribe and share the laughs with your friends.
Powered by Always Plumbing and Heating.